was like a little like delayed. Like
when should I say
when
it?
you see it zoom in a little more,
Yeah.
you hear the music, right?
Yeah.
When the music
Thanks, Brian.
stops, when you
Okay.
don't hear the music anymore, just start doing it.
When the music stops?
Yeah.
Okay.
30 seconds.
Because you don't want it to be like a lull.
Yeah. Okay, I need to focus. Everyone shut up.
Let's go.
Yes, I can.
Okay. Yeah, you can. 20 seconds.
Coming up next, details from the weekend's armed robbery in downtown State College, where the police stand on catching the suspect.
Plus, reaction to a controversial speaker on Penn State's campus.
Freedom of speech is under attack, especially on campuses at the moment in this country.
And how Facebook is sparking a conversation about social media within local communities.
We need to take control of our own life back.
The Center County Report starts now.
Good afternoon. I'm Isabel Hayes.
And I'm Connor Griffin. Thanks for joining us for the Center County Report.
Commentator Milo Yiannopoulos came to campus this week amid protests, sparking a counter event and a lot of controversy. Reporter Grace McCarthy has more.
Uncensored America, a Penn State student group, invited far-right commentator Milo Yiannopoulos to campus on Wednesday. Along with him came plenty of controversy. Yiannopoulos, a self-proclaimed ex-gay man, gave a speech titled Pray the Gay Away, where he discusses conversion therapy. A counter event, Love is Louder, took place the same night at the Hub to show support for the Penn State LGBTQ+ community.
It was just being able to show that love is louder, and that we are there for the students and whatever resources they may need, that we and our other campus partners can provide for them.
Protesters and supporters of Yiannopoulos lined the streets leading to the speech. Although more than 10,000 people signed a petition calling for Penn State to cancel the controversial speech. Because of the First Amendment and Penn State not dictating student group speakers in the past, it could not legally be stopped. Penn State released a statement earlier this week denouncing Yiannopoulos' comments and tour. It reads, "A public university cannot impose the risks of censorship on those whose viewpoints it does not like without equally risking censorship for all, including those viewpoints it strongly endorses."
Freedom of speech is under attack, especially on campuses at the moment in this country.
Despite the petitions and protests, President of Uncensored America, Luca Maraldi, believed Yiannopoulos had every right to be at the university.
I think you're seeing a shift away from what university and these sort of educational institutions were designed for, which is, open dialogue, whether it be offensive or not.
Yiannopoulos' speech brought in more than 250 people in a standing room-only crowd. More than 1,900 people attended the Love is Louder event, according to organizers. In University Park, I'm Grace McCarthy for the Center County Report.
Despite concerns of things getting out of control, there were no serious incidents reported.
Police are investigating an armed robbery at the Fullington bus station in State College from last Sunday. The bus station is located across the street from Penn State's campus at 152 North Atherton Street. The suspect entered the bus station office and struck the clerk with a pistol. The suspect then stole money from the register and fled the station through a south side door. An alert was sent out to the community asking citizens to seek shelter. Moments later, another alert chimed saying it was okay to go outside. It was a scary situation for many in the area.
I feel like it was scary and we all were terrifying. And it's very unsettling knowing that something like that could be right next to our house.
The police have identified the suspect's car. However, there are no new leads.
State College police are asking for the community's help in identifying an unknown male who broke into the Zeta Beta Tau fraternity. The individual broke into the house and damaged several items with a baseball bat. Security footage shows images of the person inside the fraternity house. Police request anyone with information to contact them. And Chi Phi fraternity on Penn State's campus is again suspended while the university investigates misconduct allegations. Chi Phi is on interim suspension and cannot recruit new members, host social events, or have new member activities. Penn State says the allegations involve serious misconduct. It's the same fraternity where a student died at an on-campus home in 2019 that some of frat members lived in. After his death was ruled an accident, the frat was reinstated and no criminal charges were filed.
Facebook has come under fire recently as users and politicians question the unregulated nature of the platform. The conversation has caused many to evaluate their own social media use.
Hannah Fagerston lives in the world of social media. For 4 years, she's held jobs developing and curating social content. She loves her career, but the long hours spent on her phone have had adverse effects on her mental health.
I'm on social media probably like 8 hours a day. There's definitely a lot of seeing people that have a lot of money and seem to have perfect lives. And that aspect sometimes is discouraging.
Speaking of discouraging, social media giant Facebook has been under increasing pressure recently. A whistleblower and leaked documents show complaints on a range of topics, from efforts to grow audience to how its platforms might harm children to its alleged role in inciting political violence.
What makes apps like Facebook even more dangerous are their highly effective algorithms, which personalize each user's experience by feeding them content that best suits their interests and tendencies. The algorithm's main objective? To keep people trapped in their phones.
I really believe and a big tech company should learn a big lessons out of this. It's not just you glue your user to the screen and your experience will be good. You have to add ethical dimensions to the user experience.
As Congress and others focus on big tech, Penn State communications professor and author Bu Zhang believes it's also on social media users to educate themselves on the dangers of artificial intelligence.
Without that kind of knowledge, we could easily get manipulated. We need and take control of our own life back.
And for Fagerston, taking back control is a top priority.
You have to remind yourself every day that social media isn't actually reality.
Facebook is also trying to launch an Instagram app for kids under the age of 13. The project was stopped after disapproval from the public.
The Center Film Fest is back for its third annual year after the pandemic forced it to go virtual last year. Theaters around the area are hosting the event. Austin Boley was at the opening ceremonies and has the latest.
With more than 80 films, special events, and guest appearances, the festival kicked off on Monday at the State Theater in State College and runs there through Wednesday. Then the Mishler Theater in Altoona plays host on Thursday, and it wraps at the Roland Theater in Phillipsburg on Sunday. Co-founder Pearl Gluck says she wanted to extend the experience of the festival.
It's a neutral space, right? So bringing conversations into neutral spaces that have history for dialogue, history for interaction.
The event is also celebrating Indigenous Peoples Heritage Month by celebrating deep cultures and traditions.
Every day should be awareness of the land upon which we stand and the history that brought us to where we are.
On Tuesday evening, special guest Patrick Littlewolf Brooks of the Tuscarora Nation performed the men's northern traditional dance.
Native people walk in two worlds. We still walk in the traditional path of our ancestors and trying to feel the prophecy of the seventh generation. But we're also walking in today's generation.
Brooks says the Center Film Fest is a great way to show that Indigenous people are still facing difficulties from history.
And having an event like this is so important to tell some of those stories, that we have a sense of humor and we still have a past that we're dealing with.
Whether you're riding solo, on a date night, or it's family time, the movie theater here at the Roland for the Center Film Fest is perfect for everybody involved. If you're over 21, there's 1920s inspired cocktails. Food trucks are going to be along the streets, and of course, your nostalgic movie theater popcorn.
Other films at the festival include comedies, drama, horror, sports, and children's movies. For tickets and the full online and in-person schedule, visit centerfilm.org. In State College, I'm Austin Boley for the Center County Report.
On Sunday, there will be an award ceremony featuring the Chandler Living Legacy Award, presented to Penn State alumnus and Emmy Award-winning actor, writer, and producer Keegan-Michael Key.
Still to come on the Center County Report, a farm-to-table restaurant puts community first.
Also coming up, how a love for Italian food and a global pandemic started a local resident's homemade sauce business.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys,
And then she hides them in that basket by the door. But it's always the same basket and it's always in the same place. And then she acts so surprised when I find them, but she's putting them in the same basket again. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
Most party fouls are pretty dumb. But if you decide to drink and drive underage, you could lose your license and your freedom. Underage drinking and driving. The ultimate party foul.
You're doing great. We're gonna try this again, okay?
Okay.
Wheels, pedals, handlebar, brakes. Sit up straight, keep your weight in the center, keep your eyes on the road, hands on the grips, button the seat. If we feel ourselves falling, what do?
Just keep pedaling.
Good girl. Now remember, it's all about balance and steering. Steer with your hands, steer with your body. Steer into the corners when you stay out of trouble. And the bell's your buddy, so go ahead and ding that. All right, ready? Here we go. Pedal, honey, pedal. There you go, you're a bike rider.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
Construction is continuing this week on North Atherton Street. Construction has traveled upward along Atherton Street this past week, which has caused traffic buildup to continue. The Pennsylvania Department of Transportation still urges people to be cautious and add extra time for travel.
As concerns for health and the environment are on the rise, farm-to-table restaurants are more popular than ever. Reporter Katie Shiro explores a local one in State College.
Monica Gastiger is preparing to open Reform Cafe for the evening. She started the restaurant 2 years ago with her husband Duke after buying farmland in 2016. The goal? To serve food made only from local farms.
So looking at what's coming on your table, if it's coming from a farm that's closer to you, it's going to most likely be healthier.
This is known as farm-to-table dining, and it's gaining significant popularity in the U.S. According to the International Food Information Council, more than 4 out of 5 people said the pandemic has changed how they eat, shop, and think about food. This means choosing restaurants with organic and sustainable foods.
The crops you see in this field, including these cauliflower, are served right from the farm to the table at Reform Cafe.
Reform grows all kinds of crops and also has eggs and livestock. They have a staff that works on the farm and cooks the food, as well as volunteer groups from the community who help with tasks like picking and sorting crops. Monica says it's important to keep the community involved as well as give back.
If you invest locally, it pays off locally. The monies that are spent locally stay here in Center County and come back and make the community a more well-rounded place.
Reform also offers cooking classes and educational opportunities so Center County can learn more about why farm to table is the way to go.
So that farm to table piece isn't just a saying, it isn't just something that like the trend right now. It really is important.
In State College, I'm Katie Shiro for the Center County Report.
Reform Cafe has received 2 awards for its sustainability practices in 2019.
After another cold night, we'll be warming back up into the upper 40s, but as we head into the weekend, we could be flirting with that 60-degree mark. We'll get into that in the 7-day forecast. But the reason why we're getting so cold overnight is because of this time-lapse shot here. You see no clouds on this shot at all. That's allowed for us to radiationally cool down into those mid-20s. And that has really been the story of the past couple of days. But right now, it's currently 43 degrees. We won't be warming much higher than that, maybe up to the upper 40s. But all in all, across central Pennsylvania, you're seeing pretty cool conditions out there. Mid 40s across the board here. And as we zoom out to all of Pennsylvania here, you can see a couple of cold spots up in Franklin. You're sitting at 35 degrees right now. Radar and satellite shows not much doing across Pennsylvania. It's been a pretty boring couple of days in terms of weather. Just a couple of lake effect clouds out towards the northwest as we have a northwesterly flow coming off of Lake Erie. Zooming out across the northeast, you can see pretty much the same thing. High pressure over the Great Lakes has allowed us to remain relatively cloud-free, and at that point, relatively precipitation-free as well. So it's really been a pretty lackluster and boring last couple of days. So timing it out for you, just how long will we see these cloud-free conditions? Looking throughout the day today, not really much clouds will be impacting Pennsylvania at all. We'll get up into the upper 40s, but then as we head down into the overnight hours, we could be dipping down into the low 20s, especially down in Johnstown, where we could be hitting 21 degrees overnight tonight. And as we head throughout the next day or so, we'll be warming back up into the upper 40s once again, and then dipping down into the 20s as well, all thanks to that relatively no cloud cover across the region. So for today, we're going to be dealing with a high of 47 degrees with plenty of sunshine out there. It's going to be a very beautiful day in State College. And as we head into the overnight hours, we'll be dipping down into the upper 20s, 28 degrees for your low with clear and cold conditions. Another freeze will be likely overnight tonight. And as we head into the day tomorrow, we'll be warming back up to slightly warmer conditions, sunny and seasonable for us tomorrow. And as we head throughout the next 7 days, it's going to be a pretty cool next couple of days. But then as we head into the weekend, it's going to be pretty warm, flirting with that 60-degree mark once again.
Well, it looks like it's going to be a pretty chilly weekend.
It's going to be, yep.
But it's more fall. It's more football weather, I think.
For sure.
Definitely getting me excited. And I guess with that, we can toss it over to Kyle Canillo in sports.
Coming up next in sports, Penn State football travels to College Park to take on the Maryland Terrapins this Saturday. We'll take a look at the matchup. Plus, high school football playoffs kick off tonight with some can't-miss matchups. We'll give you the rundown after the break.
Todd's a great guy. I mean, look at him. What a sweetheart. Attaboy. Wait, Todd, what are you doing? How totally selfish and un-Todd-like of you. Come on, Todd. Come on, man.
Hi, I'm Peter. And there's nothing I love more than sharing vegetables with my friends. Come on in! Help yourself to anything. That's why we give our food the utmost respect it deserves. Did you know there are simple steps we can all take to help save food? You can cook it, store it, even share it. Just don't waste it. Because when it comes to food, better ate than never. To learn more, visit SaveTheFood.com.
This year, patriotism shouldn't just be about pride of country. It should be about love. Remember that to love America is to love all Americans. Because love has no labels.
So, I'm kind of new here, but I've noticed a trend. My human does this funny thing where she goes around and gets all my toys, and then she hides them in that basket by the door. It's like, hello, that's where you put it last time. You were the worst at hide and go seek.
So you see, son, good manners are important. Should I go through it again?
Yes.
Yes, please.
Yes, please.
Exactly. Always say please, thank you, you're welcome, excuse me, sit up straight, hold doors open for ladies. If the door's locked, knock first, don't burp, don't swear, don't stare, don't use bad language, or talk with your mouth full, keep your elbows off the table.
What table?
Don't interrupt. Cover your mouth when you cough or sneeze. On the bus, give your seat up to anybody who has trouble standing. Bottom line, treat others the way you want to be treated. Got it?
Got it.
Good talk.
Most parenting is hard to do in just 2 minutes. But 2 minutes twice a day making sure they brush is easier, and it could help save them from a lifetime of tooth pain.
I'm Kyle Canillo with sports. In less than 1 month, Penn State went from being a top 5 team to completely unranked. The Nittany Lions will look to turn it around at Maryland tomorrow as distractions continue, both on and off the field. As Penn State prepares for Maryland, Head coach James Franklin won't put to rest rumors of leaving and is holding his cards close yet again.
When you're in this position, is you want to be as truthful and transparent as you possibly can, but you also want to be respectful of all these groups that you work with and for. And I think that's the challenge.
Another challenge? Recently, it's been winning. Penn State has lost 3 straight games. It's the longest losing streak since the beginning of last season. The Nittany Lions are 40-4 all-time against the Terrapins, but lost last season 35-19 at Beaver Stadium. Penn State opens up as a 10.5-point favorite thanks to a rejuvenating performance last week against Ohio State.
Voices and noise from the outside about this game is bigger than this game, and I think that's where you have to be careful. You get on an emotional roller coaster. So we try to keep it as consistent as we can.
One consistency is Penn State's red zone defense. Heading into this weekend, it's the best in the nation, with opponents scoring 8 touchdowns on 29 red zone trips.
When this defense is doing our job and executing, and we don't have like any of the mental errors, any of the execution errors, I feel like we're one of the best in the country, and I feel like we've shown that.
Regardless of the struggles Penn State has battled this season, it's pretty clear that winning this weekend would naturally patch some wounds.
At the end of the day, no one cares. You just got to find a way to get it done.
The last time Penn State played in College Park, Penn State dominated Maryland, winning 59-0. You can listen to tomorrow's game live at 3:30 p.m. on Penn State's Com Radio. Now to high school football. The PIAA high school playoffs begin this week in District 6. One team who won't be playing are the State High Little Lions, who earned a bye. But they are using this week wisely for next week's big game. Chris Limo reports.
After a big 21-7 win over the Altoona Mountain Lions last Friday, the State High Little Lions earned a bye into the 6A District 6 Championship next week. After a 22-21 loss to Mountain Lions in the last season's district championship, Coach Matt Lentell says the Little Lions are eager to get another shot at the title.
This year is a different feel. Not that it's normal 100%, but these kids are hungry. They definitely have grown as a group. They've grown as a team, and they're out there ready to compete.
The Little Lions will take on the winner of the Altoona versus Williamsburg game taking place tonight in Altoona. Despite not knowing who they'll play, Coach Lentell says it doesn't change how his guys are preparing.
With the uncertainty of Williamsport or Altoona, we want to focus on State College. So we have not put together and tried to get these kids learning 2 different game plans.
With State High sitting on the sidelines this week, the focus turns to other pivotal games around the district. Bald Eagle hosts River Valley, and Penns Valley visits Bellwood Antis in the 2A playoffs. In 4A action, Bellefonte will head down to Mansion Park to take on Juniata tomorrow evening, and the Hollidaysburg Golden Tigers will take on Central Mountain tonight for the 5A championship at Mansion Park. Reporting in State College, I'm Chris Lemo for the Center County Report.
Our sports team will be tracking tonight's games, and you can see all the highlights on our high school football show after the whistle. Penn State hockey opens up Big Ten play tonight at Ohio State. The 16th-ranked Nittany Lions are coming off a 6-4 win over previously 6th-ranked North Dakota in Nashville. Penn State is back in the rankings for the first time since early last season. Head coach Guy Godowski commented about how this win over a top 10 ranked team can help build confidence going forward.
Yeah, I mean, it's a positive. You want to feed off the momentum, but Big Ten is a little different. Like, just because we had success there, it's very nice. It should give the team confidence that it can be done, but it doesn't necessarily guarantee anything, especially in this league.
The 2-game series with the Buckeyes begins tonight at 7 p.m., and Game 2 is tomorrow at 5 p.m. Penn State men's soccer is back in action on Sunday after winning the Big Ten regular season championship last weekend. The Nittany Lions are getting set to take on Michigan State in the first round of the Big Ten tournament. There's a lot of soccer left to be played this year, and despite the team's recent accomplishments, head coach Jeff Cook is still preaching a hungry mentality.
We came back here with a nice celebration here at Jeffrey Field on Monday. We had a day off Tuesday, and we said, when we get back to work on Wednesday, it's time to focus forward on Michigan State. And practice yesterday was excellent, and I'm hoping today will be the same. But I think that mentality is there.
Jeffrey Field will be the site for Penn State's clash with the Spartans at 7 o'clock on Sunday. You can listen to the game on Penn State's Com Radio. That's all for sports. Now back to you at the anchor desk.
Thanks, Kyle. Coming up next, starting your own successful business at 21 seems impossible. We have one local resident's story next.
Taught him how to hit a baseball, how to hit a receiver, the strike zone, the net. You taught him how to hit the upper corner. You even taught him how to hit the open man. But how much time have you spent teaching him what not to hit?
Start a story. Adopt at theshelterpetproject.org.
There's one thing you can never have sex without.
It's not something you buy.
Or something you take.
In fact, there's only one way to get it.
It has to be given to you freely.
It's consent.
Because sex without it isn't sex.
It's rape. Consent.
If you don't get it, you don't get it. It's on us to stop sexual assault.
Learn how and take the pledge at itsonus.org.
In the midst of the pandemic, one Penn State student has turned a free time and a love for food into a successful startup. Reporter Andre Magaro has more.
All the way from grocery store shelves throughout the Mid-Atlantic, an up-and-coming pasta sauce is rooted in State College. It's here where the founder of Morosa's Old World Cuisine pasta sauces resides. Penn State student Marcella Marino started her business earlier this year, and with the help of her father, has enjoyed plenty of success.
My dad's actually a food distributor also, so he imports and distributes. So he's helped me with the distribution. He was able to get into all those stores.
Marino's products have not hit stores in central Pennsylvania quite yet, but they are for sale in over 50 locations throughout New York, New Jersey, Maryland, and the eastern part of PA since May.
Morosa's currently comes in 3 unique flavors, tomato basil, in addition to marinara and vodka sauce. And while the plan is to expand beyond those in the near future, for right now, these sauces complement any Italian dish nicely.
Marino is not the only Penn State student flourishing with her startup. Throughout the Smeal College of Business, Marino and others have worked under Dr. Jeanette Miller, who says there are absolutely advantages to starting a business at such a young age.
Your risk tolerance is deeper because you don't have a mortgage, you don't have all of the financial commitments.
Marino has learned quite a lot from the experience and says she's happy to have gone for it.
It's like learning the things that you don't think go into business, like trucking. I had no idea anything about trucking before this, but now I know finances, how like profit margin.
Reporting in State College, I'm Andre Magaro for the Center County Report.
Marino hopes to graduate in the spring and continue to grow her business. That's all for today's newscast. We hope you join us on Tuesday for our next local news update.
You can follow us anytime for breaking news on our Center County Report Twitter, and you can see our stories on our Facebook page and our website. Have a good afternoon.
Yeah.
Visit aarp.org/caregiving for information on how to provide even better care for the person who once took care of you.
I love my sister.
My heart doesn't see race. Love is love.